Check the time, sing around, this is how it's done. Everyone hit the floor, now we're really gonna get things started. Well, everybody, yeah, everybody, yeah. Take it up to the top, may the party never stop. Make it loud, make it clear, let them know that we're here. Well, everybody, yeah, everybody, yeah. Throw your hands in the air, and if you do it, if you dare, turn it up, shake it down, and the world will spin another round.
Touchdown confirmed.
Now we're just begun. Check the time, sing the rhyme, this is how it's done. Everyone hit the floor, now we're really gonna get things started. Yeah, we'll get things started now. See the light shining bright like a superstar. Reaching high for the sky like I know you are. Every day there's a way and we're really gonna get things started. Well, everybody, yeah, everybody, yeah. Take it up to the top, may the party never stop. Make it loud, make it clear, let them know that we're here. Well, everybody, yeah, everybody, yeah. Throw your hands in the air, and if you do it, if you dare, turn it up, shake it down, and the world will spin another round. Spin another round.
Good afternoon. Welcome to New Student Convocation. I am Sabar Randawa, President of Western Washington University. On behalf of all the faculty and staff at Western, welcome. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we gather today on the ancestral homelands of the Coast Salish peoples who have lived in Salish Sea Basin all throughout the San Juan Islands and the North Cascades watershed from time immemorial. We express our deepest respect and gratitude for our indigenous neighbors, the Lummi Nation and Nooksack tribe, for their enduring care and protection of our shared lands and waterways. We are thrilled that you have chosen to make Western your home for the next few years, and we are committed to making it a place where you can grow academically, personally, and professionally. It has been especially exciting to see so many of you in person around campus recently. The energy and enthusiasm you bring to campus is contagious and charges us up to do our best for you. Until just a few days ago, we were planning for an in-person convocation event, but based on the strong advice of our campus physician and guidance from the county and state health departments, we have decided to move to a virtual event out of an abundance of caution for the health and safety of our campus community. Just like last year, our decisions on active on-campus engagement will be driven by health markers and guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and local and state health authorities. At the same time, I appreciate that each of you has played your part by getting vaccinated, and I expect that you will continue to closely follow masking and other health directives so that we can continue to safely operate the university. We have all been through a lot this past year, some more than others, but recovering our sense of community and connectedness is critical to what Western is about. It is also important for our individual healing and well-being too. We are strongest when we are together, learning in community with others. Your presence matters to me, to your instructors and classmates, and ultimately to the success of Western. I'm hopeful that as vaccinations continue to increase and as the Delta variant pace has slowed and new infections are starting to fall, that we will be able to get back to more in-person events. I want you to know that the Western community we are welcoming you into today isn't ultimately about a place. Western's community is defined by its people and a culture of caring about the success of each and every one of our students. You are joining a wonderful institution, a university whose primary focus is your education and success. Western is recognized nationally for its successes, for its leadership as one of the most sustainable green campuses in the nation by the Sierra Club, to being named the top master's granting institution in the Pacific Northwest for 22 years in a row. We are also ranked fourth among top public universities in the West, a region that spans from Texas to the Pacific Coast. While this recognition is gratifying, we chose to measure our success in terms of how effective we are in developing three important goals that directly impact your education. First, we are committed to ensuring that each of you has the opportunity to be successful at Western and beyond. Second, we are committed to increasing the positive impact that Western makes in Washington and the region by expanding access for more and more students, especially those from diverse backgrounds. And third, we are passionate about continually enhancing the distinctive excellence of Western's academic programs and learning experiences, which I hope is a big part of what attracted you to Western in the first place. While we are committed to doing everything we can to ensure your success, we are the supporting cast in your story. This is your time to shine. So here's my challenge for you. Transformative education begins with being open to new learning experiences. That takes courage, humility, and honesty with yourself. I hope you say yes to as many learning experiences as possible, and especially ones that take you a little outside your comfort zone. There will probably never be a better opportunity in your life to try something new or different with less concern for whether you are going to be great at it the first time. In fact, I would argue that if you aren't taking some risks while you are here, you won't have taken full advantage of your time at Western. If you need help along the way, please know that Western is here for you with all kinds of support services. But whatever you do, don't miss out on the opportunity to stretch yourself and explore. As the coronavirus pandemic continues to disrupt our lives, it is tempting to let the last year define our expectations far into the future. Instead, I hope you will focus on the possibilities you have in front of you for the next 4 years and beyond. While you may not be on campus every day this fall, or be able to engage with your peers as closely as you might have expected, please know that our faculty are committed to delivering the same high-quality education online as they do in person. Wherever we are located and however we engage with each other this fall, we will be creating the community which will ultimately carry us through the pandemic and back to a normal life. And talking about our community, please know that you are joining a university that is resolute and united in the belief that racism and hate has no place on our campus or in our society. We are committed to a university culture that is based on respect, kindness, and compassion, where we acknowledge and value the uniqueness and importance of each member of our community, and where we strive to ensure the physical, psychological, and emotional safety of all of our students. Now, as a member of the Western community, you too have a shared responsibility to advance a campus culture that is equitable, diverse, and inclusive, and that respects and celebrates the worth and dignity of us all. The next time you see me wearing these robes, I'll be handing you your diploma. On that day, I hope that you will feel not only a sense of pride in all that you have accomplished, but the satisfaction that comes from having challenged yourself, taken those risks, and gotten everything you could out of your time at Western. This is your time to make a difference, your time to make waves. Thank you again for choosing to come to Western, and welcome. I would now like to invite Vice President for Enrollment and Student Services, Melinda Husky, to the podium to make some remarks.
Thank you, Sabah. Welcome. We are glad and proud that you're here. Convocation is a Latin word. It means calling together. Like many ceremonial parts of university life, its origin is European and medieval. Each year, the president calls us together to welcome you into the life of Western Washington University. In your honor, we wear our regalia, a kind of academic uniform which connects us to the very beginnings of the European University in the 1100s, to honor your symbolic entrance into the academy. At commencement, you'll wear your own regalia, which you will have earned over the next few years. The gonfalons behind us, and that's another great word, gonfalon, it's Old Norse and it means battle flag, represent the colleges, the academic divisions of the university. Each college has a dean who heads the collected departments where our faculty teach and study. The vice presidents, like me, who lead the non-academic parts of the institution, are also here on campus, and we are all here to celebrate and welcome you. Many years ago, when I was a student, a folklore professor said to me, there are really only two stories in the world. Someone leaves home and a stranger comes to town. He was wrong. There are way more stories than that. But right now, you get to be both sides of that particular story. You've left home, and for a little while, you'll be a stranger in this town. It's a strange, dislocating, exciting, and amazing place to be. And you are here in a time that feels more challenging, more fraught, and more pretentious than perhaps any time in the recent history. We know that you've been through so much in the last 2 years. We want to help you make the most of your time here. We are here, all of us, people all over campus, to help you find your way, to find your own way. We want you to discover and uncover and challenge and learn and forget all kinds of things. We want you to change your mind and change it back and then change the world in some way that only you will be able to. We want you to make mistakes and learn from them and then make more mistakes. So I invite you to take a moment here at the very beginning to think about why you're here. What do you want from Western? What will you bring to us? What do you want to take with you when you leave us to go out into the world? Take some time in the next few days to reflect on this new adventure and write down your hopes and wishes for your year. Put them somewhere where you can find them again, in a notebook, on your phone, in your Instagram, make a TikTok. It's not too soon to have goals, to think about what you want for yourself from these years. You've worked hard to get here, and we want you to flourish here. We look forward to your successes and also to your fruitful failures and the learning they will bring. I'm happy to invite Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Brent Carbajal, to the podium to make some brief remarks.
Thank you, Vice President Husky. It's an honor to be here welcoming you on behalf of the outstanding faculty and staff who provide and support your academic and classroom experience here at Western. Convocation is a time-honored event. It's a cherished time in the academy because it provides a ceremony that welcomes you to the university experience and that marks the traditional start of the academic year. It's a time of anticipation and excitement, one to which I personally look forward every year. You have decided over these past several months that Western will be your university. You have committed yourself to our community, to embrace the experience we can offer, and to engage with the academic programs that allow you to turn your passions into reality. We are equally committed to you. After having finished your high school or other academic training remotely, carrying with you the experiences of learning and living during a pandemic, today you initiate a new chapter of life informed by the challenges of these past 18 months. Today also marks the very real transition in your decision to be part of the Western community. You are here. We hope you are settling into your living space, registered for classes, and meeting new friends. To employ the vernacular, it's on now. We too have weathered the pandemic, and we look forward to moving beyond it with you. Tomorrow begins one of the most exciting aspects of your life as you formally start classes, and with that, your academic experience at Western. As your teachers and your supporters, we are eager to help you live that excitement through your courses, which will stretch your learning in new and different ways, which will expose you to learning you may have never imagined, and which may set the course for the rest of your life. As the community that is Western, we pride ourselves on being caring, committed, and student-centered. When you feel you don't know what to do, just reach out. Reach out to any of us with specific reference to the academic side. If you're struggling in the path to your major, talk to your professors and academic advisors. We are all here to help, and we understand the uncertainties and challenges that can accompany this wonderful journey. Our job is to help you navigate what can feel like a complicated system, to support you on the path to your passion and your dreams, and ultimately to foster your success. In so doing, we will challenge you to go beyond what you think you can do, even as you challenge us to do the same. We look forward to helping you have the very best experience you can at Western. We're excited to have you on campus and welcome you to the academic experience that will begin tomorrow. Welcome to Western. And now I would like to invite Faculty Senate President Shirin Delami to the podium to give you a special welcome on behalf of Western's faculty.
Thank you so much, Provost Carbajal. On behalf of the faculty, I welcome you to Western. It's such a strange and exciting time for all of us, and I know that the faculty are excited to get back into classrooms and connect with all of you face to face. When I was asked to give a speech for convocation, I thought about what I wanted to hear in my first days of college. Like many of you, I was a first-generation college student. My parents were immigrants who fled a terrifying revolution to come to the United States in order for me to have a better life. When I got to college, a university not unlike Western, I realized quickly that I had no idea what I was doing and that I was terrified that there had been a mistake and that I did not belong. Imposter syndrome reared its ugly head, as it often likes to do. Perhaps like some of you, I wasn't sure that I was smart enough or didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life or even how I was supposed to talk to my professors. Everyone else seemed to have it together. Something I soon found out was my own misperception. But slowly but surely, I made connections with other students, and perhaps even more importantly, I made connections with my professors. In fact, one changed my life. In my junior year, I took a feminist theory class with this professor, and it completely upended my worldview. Don't get me wrong, this was a hard class, and she was a serious professor. And the readings were so challenging that I didn't know what was going on half the time. And I loved every minute of it. By the end of that quarter, I knew what I was going to do with the rest of my life. I wanted to be a political theorist. To my parents' horror, I can still hear my dad saying, "Can't you be a lawyer or a doctor or something?" This is not to say that you will all want to become professors, but rather to tell you that the university can be a magical place where you can start to imagine a future for yourself. I learned so much in those 4 years. I realized I loved physics, but I liked politics more. I read great books of literature, learned about astronomy, and soon figured out that I gravitated towards the big questions in life. What are we doing together? How should our democracy work? What does it mean to be truly free? These were the questions that captivated me and actually continue to captivate me. My professors taught me to tackle these hard questions. They also taught me to accept that there were questions in which there wasn't just one right answer. And my fellow students taught me about their ideas and their lives and their perspectives. And from all that, I learned how to be a student at my university, but also a student in life. So here is my advice to you and to maybe my 18-year-old self, now looking more than 25 years back. First, take every opportunity to learn from someone else, especially people who aren't like you. Second, talk to other students in your classes, not just in class, but before and after. Those friendships and the capacity to share new ideas will last you a lifetime. Third, do the reading. Never again in your life will you get a devoted time period to expand your mind the way you are right now. Sometimes it will feel like too much, but you won't learn nearly as much without spending time with the texts. Fourth, this one's a hard one, but talk to your professors. Participate in class, go to office hours, ask us questions. We are here to help you. And honestly, we're not as scary as you think. Fifth, remind yourself every day that you deserve to be here. Whether you're the first to go to college in your family, or your parents are immigrants, or you just don't think you belong, you really do. And finally, embrace the hard and the unknowable. Don't try to simply find out what you're supposed to know. Ponder the big questions and challenge yourself to ask yourself what you want to know, and then try and figure out the answers. This is why you're here. It's going to be a wild and trying ride. And as professors, we have the deep privilege of watching you grow and evolve. We're so lucky to have you. Welcome to Western. And now it's my pleasure to invite Nate Gaines, a recent Western graduate, to the podium for his remarks.
To this historic incoming class of 2021. It is my humbled honor and privilege of welcoming you to this incredible institution. I currently serve as an admissions counselor for the Office of Admissions here at Western. In this position, I have the opportunity of meeting with prospective and incoming students from around this state and country. Throughout this year, I've read and heard incredible stories from students, from poems that tell a meaningful story to life-altering experiences. It's truly astonishing to see what makes this generation so incredible. I like to use the word historic class because of what you've endured even before walking on this campus today. I use the word historic because there is no other incoming class that has gone through so much that this world has thrown at you, and yet each and every one of you were able to rise above these obstacles to make it here today. You are about to embark on one of the greatest adventures of your lives. Your college journey will be filled with both triumph and hardships. No one in this room and campus knows what this year's will be like, but I can assure you that we will walk this path together. I want to ask you all the same question that was asked during my opening convocation back in the fall of 2016. I was just a little freshman, unsure of what this college thing was going to be like. I knew I'd meet a lot of people, make a few memories, but I was still afraid of this unknown. One of our notable faculties, Dr. Rich Brown, asked us a question that stuck with me throughout my years as a student. He said, "Who are you now, and who do you want to be when you leave here?" I'm going to ask that question again. Who are you now, and who do you want to be when you leave here? Now is the time to really think about the person that you want to become. This is a frightening question because you are walking, as I said, into the unknown. College can be a scary place for some, but I urge you to really think about the person you want to become. This could be your passions, your beliefs, your desires, and goals. One of my idols, Coach Jimmy V, he put it in simpler terms. He said, "It's important to know where you are. I know where I am right now. How do you go from where you are to where you want to be?" I think you have to have an enthusiasm for life. You have to have a dream, a goal. You have to be willing to work for it. I also want to ask you another question that was asked on that day. How many of you are the only ones to come to Western from your high school? No one here knows who you are. This is an opportunity to reinvent yourself and be an entirely different person. Whatever you tell us today, we will believe it. Rich Brown said, "You simply get to define yourself by what you tell others you meet here." The beauty of college is starting an entirely different image. It's about rediscovering your perspective on life and starting a new beginning. I didn't like going by my full name, Nathaniel, so I told everyone my name was Nate. Of course, some habits might be harder to die down. I vowed as a freshman never to procrastinate ever again, but yet I wrote this very speech the day before it was due. The point is, you can transform into anybody that you want to be. Although it's good to redefine yourself and set goals, it's also important to have fun. These will be some of the most memorable years of your life. If someone wants to play Frisbee on campus in the middle of the night, wear your mask, but do it. If a friend wants to jump in the ocean in the middle of the winter, think about it, but then do it. These experiences and conversations you will have in the next couple of years are ones you will never forget. I've learned so much from staying up till 3 a.m, listening to friends argue about politics and religion. I learned from thinking critically about justice issues and asking my friends difficult questions about current events. College is about experiencing all that you can and truly taking in every moment possible. My dad told me before coming onto Western's campus that I would meet my lifelong friends during this journey. You will build each other up during the hardest days and celebrate every accomplishment to the fullest. One last point I have for you. Education is so special, but also one of the greatest privileges of life. When you start class tomorrow, I want you to think about the family and friends who made it possible for you to be here today. That mom or grandma who made you sit at the kitchen table until all of your homework was finished. That parent or guardian who worked countless hours so you could even have a shot at going to college. I was raised by my great-grandmother. She never had the opportunity of going to college, but she made sure all of her children and grandchildren had that opportunity. My grandma had my mom when she was a senior in high school. My grandma ruled college right out of the picture in result. Every day since my grandma decided not to go to college, her mom would not let it go. My great-grandma brought it up countless times. She explained the importance of being a Black woman in education and that she needed to go. She did this so much to the point where my grandma couldn't take it anymore and finally decided to enroll in college. Fast forward 30 years, as one of the only Black women at her level, she retired as a higher ed administrator at Georgia State University. I tell you this story because it's important to never forget where you come from and the loved ones like my grandmother who pushed and pushed for you to be here. And as I close today, you've heard this a lot, but this generation has the potential to change this world. You have the potential to heal our people and set this world on a different path. It starts with thinking about the person that you want to become. Reinventing yourself can be what you need to succeed in this journey. College will not be easy. There might be times where you want to give up, but I can assure you it's more than worth it to keep moving forward. I leave you with the words of another idol of mine, Chadwick Boseman. He says, "I don't know what your future is, but if you are willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first and success, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it." There is so much greatness on this campus today. I am beyond excited to see what this class will bring. And again, we are so glad that you are here. And on behalf of myself, current students, faculty, and staff, welcome to Western. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nate, for those remarks. So to conclude today's program, I hope that wherever you are, wherever you're listening, you will join us in singing the Alma Mater, the school song which celebrates our shared history as members of the Western family. You'll hear it again when you leave Western at commencement. The words will appear at the bottom of your screen, and if you want the sheet music, it's available on the Convocation website. And I do hope that you will join in. On behalf of all of us and all the many folks who aren't here today, but who are thinking about you today, we welcome you to Western.